Hello, I'm Irene Michaels, and I'd like to share some of my career moments with you. I have been on local TV, national TV, and many, many movies. Some of my movies you might recognize me in is Mickey 1, Home Alone 2, The Untouchables, Cold Case into Dawn, some TV shows or General Hospital, All My Children, and many, many more. I also am a songwriter, and I have several hits out right now. I also am an author. I wrote a book called I on Beauty, many, many beauty secrets from the red carpet when I used to interview celebrities. I worked for the Oscars, the Tonys, the Grammys. So I've covered many, many, many events, Screen Actors Guild. And today I am thoroughly excited to be a part of this show and join all of you to the Jim Masters Show. Let's give it up for Jim Masters.
How cool is that? I absolutely love that. You could be my announcer, my warm-up act, Irene. Coming to you from New York, coming to you from Chicago. Irene Michaels is here, and as she mentioned, she just sprinkled in some of the amazing things that she has done in television and film and stage, also as a model too, and she's in the health and beauty world and also an author. I thought I was busy, Irene. You do it all. Welcome to the Jim Master Show. So great to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So we love the Windy City. How are things in Chicago today?
Very great.
Yeah.
Providing us with wonderful weather this last weekend.
Yeah.
And it's fortunate because we had the air and water show, and it was pretty gray for most of it. So I think we made some people unhappy, but it still was an awesome event. It's unbelievable how jets will fly down almost to the water and just breeze over the tops of some of the ships out there and the yachts and the sailboats. It's incredible.
How cool is that, huh? So it's so great to have you here. Like I said, you're so busy, and congratulations on all the new music and everything that's happening in your life. You've been doing this, for quite some time. And as I mentioned to, everybody before we were going on the air, I mean, people remember you, of course, from the days on General Hospital on ABC. And that, of course, was something really, really special. But you've been doing all of this television, film, stage, singing and performing for a number of years. And your music is so incredible. Your voice, folks, if you haven't heard Irene's voice, it will knock you on your feet. It's such a beautiful sound, and she's so talented, and you're very energetic and very passionate too, which I think is amazing. You're a truly passionate singer-songwriter. How did you first get started? Do you come from a family of entertainers, singers, actors, performers? What sort of sparked that interest early for you, Irene?
Jim, I wish I had the answer to that because nobody in my family was in the business. However, I was somebody's protege when I started taking ballet lessons when I was 11 years old, and she was in show business at the time. Well, I was 13 at the time, and she was already married 7 times. She was like an Auntie Mame, and she sort of became my role model and influenced me and talked me into many, many things that she thought that I could acquire. And so I did follow her lead. And so that's what I have to say as far as my love for and passion for the arts. It was more to do with her. My mother and father were very supportive. My brothers could care less. I had a couple of cousins I used to take dancing lessons with. And I've always, as a little girl, I used to ride my little broom around and pretend I was someone else. The Witch of the North or the great star of the Northern Star, whatever it was, it was always make believe for me. And so I guess for some reason, I felt like I was born to be in this business. And so I started playing the guitar, and I kept adding different disciplines on and learning the piano and singing lessons and acting lessons and poetry. And then I did that for about 10 years, 15 years in Chicago only. And then somehow I started dating. Dating became my passion instead of my career, and started doing that for a long
Some
time.
people turn that into a career too.
It's true. Then I got divorced. So, okay, fast forward, started dating again. And that kind of was my thing at the time. But then when COVID hit, it sort of reminded me, when I had nothing else to do except sit in my home, that I'm going to start playing the piano again, or playing my guitar, or maybe writing, dabbling with some music. And I did a little of that for a couple of weeks. And I said, my God, I have missed this so much. I'm going to get back into it. And so I started singing in cabarets around Chicago. And somebody took a notice to me and said, hey, you should be recording and doing house music. And I said, house music? I mean, house music, there are 20-year-olds, people my age don't do house music. Oh, no, you'll be great at it. I know you will. So I started doing house music for Trax label. And then as time went on, I started to acquire a couple of different PR people and social media people, and developed this little team. And so it's been building ever since then. And here I am today talking to you.
So television, we mentioned General Hospital, which is really exciting, and people are looking back because you probably knew right off the bat that daytime drama fans, soap fans, they are loyal, they are dedicated, they could repeat lines to you, they remember everything that you did, they're excited to see you. When you were on General Hospital, the 5 years or so, what happened? Did things transform? Did the notoriety expand for you? And were you also doing music at the same time you were doing, the daytime drama, General Hospital on ABC?
Well, at one time, people, in general, the fans, the public, would frown down on TV. That wasn't really the thing to do. It's all about movies, feature films. Of course, that's changed quite a bit these days. And so I was doing General Hospital, but I was focusing on going on auditions for bigger and better films. Not that it's bigger or better, but at that time, doing a TV show, even though it was a soap opera, was still considered the smaller end of the business. So I was always focusing on feature films, and of course, always singing as well. And so that's what I was doing. And at the end of my contract, I didn't renew it. And I went on to other things. But it's a great experience to learn how to act, which is not acting at all. All it is listening.
Exactly right. And, I've always heard from soap actors and actresses that if you can make it on a soap opera because of the dialogue being so thick and, so many different scenes, if you could make it on a soap opera, you can handle anything else because it gets pretty intense, doesn't it? The amount of dialogue and what you have to
Yes.
memorize.
And you really don't get much time to study it. Sometimes you get the script at 5 a.m, you're on set at 6, and that's when you're studying your lines to start at 8. So sometimes you don't get really much of a chance. And then they have to mark, you get a dry run and a rehearsal when they mark the show, when the cameras, camera angles. And if you mess up too many lines too many times, you are out. I remember somebody used to drink, and his name should go unmentioned here. He used to drink on the show all the time and forget his lines constantly. So they finally removed the doc. The doc was died off.
He went to Alcoholics Anonymous on that episode, I guess. Back then, yeah, television, some of the news anchors were known to do that. And there was a different world. More people smoked their drink, and it was a different time. Absolutely.
Back to General Hospital, many, many, many moons ago, when I was a little girl, laying on the floor watching TV with my mother, and had my little blanket. I was tiny, and she was watching General Hospital. So lo and behold, when I grew up and actually got on the show, It was my great honor to bring my parents on the show and introduce them to all the stars that they were watching, forever. So that was an exciting moment for me.
I can imagine,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the pride factor with your mother, seeing you on there too. And what was it like writing the book too, being a published author? We'll talk about the music and everything else too, but again, congratulations on the beauty book. That is something very, very special. Was that a real
It
labor of
is.
love?
I'm very excited about the book. I wrote it a couple of years ago, and I'm thinking of doing another sequel to this book.
That's great.
And then just recently, Random House has approached someone I'm working with, and to do perhaps an autobiography. So we're looking into that right now too.
Your background is, I mentioned earlier, you really are a true Renaissance woman. You've been described as such. You're a celebrated figure, not just in, the hometown, the Windy City of good old Chicago, but you're known for your multifaceted talents too, inspiring attitude, your infectious smile, your dedicated charity work as well. You are described as a true Renaissance woman, and you have really captivated not just through television, all these films, these TV series, and more a global audience because you have been defying ageism, which is fantastic, and really showcasing grace and hard work and persistence, and your talent as time has gone on. And that's something that I think comes naturally for you, but it's a terrific thing to do as well because it's also inspiring for others. I'm sure you've heard from others who've been inspired following your career, following your background, and some of the things that you stand for as well, huh, Irene?
Yes. And that's what I'd like to do. I want to inspire other women to always follow your dreams, no matter what, no matter how impossible, because the longest road starts with the first step. And my own philosophy is that it's not what happens to you, but it's how you handle it. That's the whole trick in life, how to maintain sanity, because we live in an insane world. And so that, and also I refuse to be defeated. So when I start something and try something, I will bite it like a pit bull until I wrestle it to the very end. And then if it doesn't work, then maybe I might let go. But I don't give up very easily.
It must be that Chicago Bull background. They could have used you on the team, right? That right, exactly. The modeling too, phenomenal career as a model in Chicago, New York as well. How did that come along? What was the discovery? Sometimes people they just send their portfolio, their headshots, whatever. Some people are just walking down the street and they get noticed. How did it happen for you, Irene?
Oh, it wasn't that easy for me. I had to knock on doors and really push myself and be aggressive, because either I, to be, not to flatter myself, but either I looked too good to be the character, and I either was too young to look old or too old to look young. So I always didn't fit into some category. They were always trying to put me in a category, but I'm not the typical person or the typical all-American looking woman. And that's what was happening at that time, like Christy Brinkley, Cindy Crawford. Those gals were more American, all-American looking. I had more of a sex appeal to me. And so it was hard to kind of quiet that down because it's part of my nature.
Mhm. Exactly right.
I don't
And,
know. It might be a blessing. It might be a curse. I haven't decided yet.
well, I think it's a blessing, but if it's a curse, I mean, um, I don't see where it would be. I mean, some really, really fantastic shots here, and we even dug this out too of an earlier time.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Those are my earlier years when I was playing guitar and singing in nightclubs around Chicago.
How did that start for you? And when you decided you were going to do that at that early age, were your parents supportive? Were they nervous? Are you going to start singing, at some of the clubs in the city? What was that like for you? How'd you break into the nightclub world?
I just walked into a club one day with my guitar and I said, "Can I sit here and play?" And they absolutely. And then the audience just, gravitated to what I was doing. They asked me to come back. And from there, I grew up, a little fan club per se. And other restaurateurs would ask me to come and play at their bar or their restaurant or their nightclub. And that's how that happened.
That's fantastic. And was that the very first instrument that you learned? Was it the guitar? Because I know you do have a real love for guitars.
Yes. Yes. That was the first instrument. That's my main love.
Are you proficient in acoustic as well as electric, or do you really focus more on acoustic?
More acoustic. I
Yeah.
have electric guitars, but I just don't play them as much.
As much as being the television star and the film star and even Home Alone 2, how did that happen? Home Alone. Ah.
Even an audition here in Chicago was shot in Chicago, a lot of it. So it was an audition call, and that's how that happened. You know,
You got to jump when they call,
yeah,
right?
you do.
When
Oh,
central casting calls,
totally. You have to be ready. And now in Chicago, there are over 14 popular TV shows being filmed here.
that's right.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. It's becoming like a little mini Warner Brothers here.
Now, have you always stayed in Chicago? Did you go to New York? Did you go to LA and live in those areas for a while?
I did. I lived in LA when I was on General Hospital. Many people think the soap operas are all in New York, but not true. So General Hospital is in LA. And then when I was on stage dancing in New York, I lived in New York for a while. And then I moved to Florida to get into the modeling end of the business there because Germany and London, I used to shoot a lot of film and commercials on the beach in Miami. So I moved there to heighten and expose myself in the modeling world at that time. So, yeah.
And at the tender age of 21, you won the first beauty contest, leading you to found Showtime, a thriving modeling agency, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Tell us about that. That's cool. You were a real go-getter early on.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
Showtime, I had for about 18 years, and I had 40 models working for me. And it was a specialized area. It was fashion shows. Modeling itself could be runway modeling, photography modeling, photo modeling, magazine modeling, fashion show modeling, runway work. So there's many different areas. And I specialized in fashion shows. So at one time, my company was doing about 50 to 60 fashion shows a week. So I was orchestrating all that and having the girls go out and do different shows. And I had actually at one time, my mother became the wardrobe girl,
Did you
and my
really?
father became my bookkeeper.
All in the family, right?
All the family, yes, yes,
That's fantastic. That's
yes. So that
and
was
then
fun.
and then you transitioned again from modeling to acting, and that's what, like you say, took you to Los Angeles, and
Right,
that's when you really built this extensive resume, including, as I mentioned, Home Alone 2, Straight Talk, starring Dolly Parton, and
right.
Dying Alone. And on the television side, you landed recurring guest roles on General Hospital. You appeared in several other shows, including Unsolved Mysteries, Rescue 911, Cold Case. When you were doing the television side of things and the film side, was it exciting you? Was that something that you really enjoyed, or was music still the thing that was in your heart more?
No, I think at the time I'm doing something, if I'm doing TV, I'm really into it. So I'm not thinking as much uh, of other things. And I loved TV and I love music also. The difference, the bottom line difference is TV, film, that's all with cameras. when you're doing when I'm doing my singing, it's all usually with a live audience. And I love the energy from the live audience. I really like performing. And you really don't perform per se unless you're like a Nicole Kidman and doing big parts like that. But you don't really perform on camera. You do in a way, in a sense, but not really, because it's cut so many times and you start over so many times. It doesn't feel the same as a live performance. There is no room for error with a live performance.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's something that I know is near and dear to your heart. And you love, working with the crowd, playing off the crowd and having the musicians around and just the energy that's created. It's really tough to mimic that, right?
Yes,
It's
it is. Yeah. I'm very thankful and always grateful for my audiences because they don't have to be there. They're there. And so I want to give them everything I can of myself for them to enjoy. Very important.
Exactly. So, how did you form, your group as well and find the musicians, the talented musicians to back you up, to back up your extraordinary voice, but also the songs that you write? Because as much as you are, folks, she's not just a terrific talent on television and film and a great singer, but you're a songwriter too. You create the music.
Can you repeat that question, please?
Yeah, how did you find the talented musicians
Ah,
to accompany you as you present the fabulous music?
okay. So it was actually through other musicians. Um, I was fortunate enough to study with a gentleman by the name of Bob Davis, who started me a long time ago on my with my guitar, and he was affiliated with Miles Davis and some of the very big names here from the music business, Quincy Jones, and even the Rolling Stones at one time. So he would, we'd sit down and collaborate. Who do we want for the bass player? Who do we want for the drummer? Do you think this person would be good? And trial and error, you finally get your match of people that are all working together as a family, one unit. And you're making sounds that, everything's gelling. I saw a show the other night with Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass.
Oh, yeah.
It was so fantastic. They were so together with each other, every single note. And then they played a video of when he was young, all the way to the present time, which he's 90 some years old. He's
Yeah.
not young, and he's still playing and rocking away. He's wailing. So it was really, really good to see. I
I
would suggest that show to anyone.
I saw that recently. That was amazing. We also lost somebody too, but he was in the jazz world and he had been around for a long time and originally from the Buffalo, New York area, Chuck Mangione. I
Oh,
always enjoyed Chuck
oh, yes.
Mangione. Yeah, and I was sad to hear that he passed recently, but he left us with such a legacy of incredible music as well. Who's some of the folks that Quincy Jones, you mentioned Quincy Jones. We did a wonderful tribute to Quincy on his passing here on the Jim Master Show series, and we brought in Brenda Russell and Melba Moore and a lot of people that
Oh, yeah.
yeah, admired and knew Quincy. Um, who were some of the folks that you were inspired by, and maybe even they mentored you along the way in the musical world?
Well, one of my favorites is composer is Burt Bacharach. He is, I think he's just awesome, you know. And then we go back to Cole Porter. I like the old timers, you know. So I
Those are
think
great names. Yeah.
yeah, those talents, they were legends.
Yeah. When did the songwriting start for you? Were you always dabbling? Did you write songs and put them in the drawer and then eventually take them out and finish them off? How about the songwriting aspect of what you do so beautiful?
No, I just started that songwriting. I'm really good at writing poems, and so songwriting came fairly easy. But I had some people along the way that I worked with, and songwriters usually like collaborating with other people. It's a lot of fun. You get so many other ideas. So it was through means of sitting with other writers, and I think they inspired me when I'd sit in on a session, or I would just, watch and audit what they were doing. I kind of was inspired to do my own writing because I was writing poems for a long time. And so then just started writing and humming. I usually will hum first. I'll hum a tune, and then I'll write to it, or vice versa. I'll write as well. And it's not always about my life story, as a lot of artists write about themselves and what happened to them, like a Taylor Swift who writes a lot about her experiences. It could be about anything, you know. Yeah.
What does inspire you? And when you are inspired, what happens? I reference often a wonderful story that the incredible Melissa Manchester shared with us when she was with us a couple of times on the series. And I said, Melissa, how are you inspired, to create all this great music as well? He said, Jim, sometimes it comes out of left field. Sometimes I could be laying on the couch napping, or, walking from one side of the house to the other. And all of a sudden something hits me, inspires me. And I run right to my piano. I have a recorder next to the piano. I press record, and whatever's flowing through me, I work it out, I record it, and I save it. So that way I can go back to it later, and I haven't lost any of whatever this inspiration is that's coming out of the blue. She could be in a sleep and dreamed of something, and then wakes up and runs to the piano and tries to record it and save it. Some people do it on their phones or whatever. How about you? When you have a source of what does inspire you? What are some of the things in life that inspire you to write this fantastic music? And then when you are inspired, do you do something like Melissa Manchester, to run to an instrument and start to save it? How does it work for you?
Pretty much that's about the same thing that I do, Jim. When I listen to music and I hear a great melody or something inspires me out of that one piece, and I start thinking, and then when I get creative and I need to start writing, it's not like I could start and stop. I have to do the whole thing basically. Occasionally, I'll go to the piano and I'll write it down, and then I'll come back to it. But for the most part, my brain will not stop until it's all done. And then I could revise it and finalize it and refine it. But usually it's from hearing other music that inspires me, good composers, uh, great musicians, just all of it, all of it.
It could be orchestras, it could be
Yeah.
bands. If we came over to
Yeah.
Irene Michaels' house,
Uh-oh.
hopefully there's fresh bread in the oven. Uh, if during the pandemic, so many people baked all this sourdough bread. What did you do during that time? Did you reflect on your life? Did you work on projects that you had always wanted to work on? How did you get through that crazy, unusual time? And was there any inspiration you pulled from that time? Did you learn more about yourself?
Well, I have horses. And so I spent a lot of time at the barn because, I could go there by myself. And animals, dogs, cats, birds, I have all of them. And so my animals kept me really, really satisfied because I was able to spend a lot of time with them. I spent a lot of time with my husband also, which gave us a, a difference of feeling more connected. And some people got divorced over that time period. We became closer, so that was a good thing.
That's true. They did get, I heard
People got divorced, couldn't stand each other
they're
after.
like, wait a minute. I liked it when you went to work and didn't come home till 7 o'clock.
Exactly.
You're
Exactly. Exactly. But then at the same time, that's when I started really concentrating on my music.
Hmm.
So COVID did a lot of bad things. It did some good things also, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It really is amazing how we all got through all of that in the ways that
Uh,
in the
how
way.
many years? Was it 3 years or something like that? Or
Oh,
two?
it's felt like forever, right? And still elements, here and there. But
Yeah.
well, they've always said BC was before Christ, but now people reference BC as before
Yes.
COVID. It's sort of it's sort of replaced that a little bit. Again, too, again, the aspects of what you do, I think, is extraordinary. You have tapped into every area of life. Like you mentioned, the horses. Horses are so healing and so loving. Being surrounded by animals, having a wonderful, loving relationship with your husband, being in music, being on stage, being an author, a writer, a musician as much as a singer-songwriter, having dabbled in Hollywood and television, modeling in Chicago and New York. Really, it's an extraordinary career. I could see an autobiography being done, and absolutely, you will be back here on the Jim Master Show when you have that. But you have this through it all, which I think is really good. Is it something that you've always had that's helped you master all of these things? And that's the passion you have for health and well-being. Um, when did you really make that such an important part of your life and a real focus, the health and well-being part, which I think we all need to be in tune with that, especially with everything, like I just mentioned, this very demanding career. You need to have that balance, that other side to so you can unplug and reboot and then come back out refreshed and ready to go, right?
Yes. Well, my brothers were weightlifters. They were competitive weightlifters. So they used to drag my butt to the gym when I was about 12 years old. And at that time, people didn't go to gyms. And we used to go, I think, to the Chicago Health Clubs, it was called. And I'd sit there, and I'd look at my homework, or I'd be doing something and not paying attention to them. And all of a sudden, a light bulb came on. And I thought this probably would be good for my dancing because I was doing a lot of ballet and studying then. So, as a very young girl, my body became very disciplined. And that discipline, I maintained that discipline through my entire life with everything that I've done. And I have to contribute that really to my early dance days, because it's a really rough road if you're going to be a dancer and a professional dancer. And that's what you aspire to, the big stage as a dancer. It is a tremendous amount of work and discipline. Yeah. Because our bodies don't want to stand on our toes. We don't want to do stuff like that.
That's right. No toes and no eggshells. Um, so, as far as the dancing, how did you study with specific people, or how did you learn to master that? And were you always a kid that was jumping around the house dancing, and
I
were you always
was.
energetic? And
I was always doing cartwheels at all the family picnics and back bends. And, I bought a pair of tap shoes when I was about 8 and, learned about that. I liked the sound that a tap shoe would make. And I learned how to tap and taught myself how to tap. And then I did go to dance school, legitimate dance school, Powell Academy for Dancers here in Chicago. And I'm an active member on the women's board of the Joffrey Ballet.
oh, you are.
Yes. So I go back and take classes now and then. So, yeah, still very active.
What about teaching and mentoring others? You have so much to give and so much to share in all of these facets of your ongoing extraordinary life, Irene. Do you like to teach and inspire and mentor others along the way?
I'm a good listener, and I will talk and help people solve their problems or advise them. But as far as teaching, I don't think I have the patience to teach. And that's part of the reason why I'm so active in everything I do, because I'm very restless and I need to accomplish a lot in my life. So if I had to teach somebody and they're slow at learning, I don't think I'd be a great teacher.
Let's go. Come on. We got um, you were in music for a while and then went back to music. Uh, Before getting into the house music and all of that area, which is kind of cool, the world of house and dance music, and you achieved critical success with your song I Like Rain, which is named Pop Song of the Year by the Nashville-based Josie Music Awards, which I think is incredible. And you mentioned, of course, signing the record deals with Trax Records and Tribeca Records as well, releasing more singles to true industry acclaim. Before you went, they pulled you in and said, hey, let's do house and dance. What was the music and the style that you went for earlier in your career?
American Songbook. American Songbook.
Mm.
All the old standards, cabaret, torch songs, Judy Garland type songs.
Oh, do you still like to dabble in that as
I
well?
do. I
You
do.
do. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's fantastic. So, like you said in the beginning, you're like, yeah, and then all of a sudden I was, brought into the world of house and dance and all. How did that happen? And what is it like being involved in that?
House and dance. Oh, it's tremendously a bunch of fun. Um, it's a whole different bag of wax. I guess it's bag of nuts.
All the wax?
Bag of something. It's very different house music because the characters are so different. And it's dance music where if you're sitting listening to a cabaret song, it's usually a moody type jazz club and people are quiet. In house music, they're rowdy. And so it's a big difference. But I could
Mhm.
adapt to all of it. I enjoy all of it.
You really do, which is absolutely amazing, I think. And what are you working on now that you're excited about?
Releasing my new song. I have two new songs to release.
Tell us about that. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, actually, one just dropped not too long ago. It's called Feeling Free. And it was recorded in Los Angeles. And the next one is also I Feel Younger Every Day. As I said, I sang that before it was released to the audience last weekend, and they loved it. So I'm looking forward to a great response for that. And then getting back and doing some R&R with my horses, which I haven't done all year.
Do
I'm
you
an
ride? Do you ride
avid
as well?
Oh, yes, I'm an
You do.
avid equestrian. I've won awards all over the place. I have a hunter jumper horse. So that's what I
Oh,
do.
that is so fantastic.
Yeah.
Is that something you did even as a young lady? Were you involved in horses, or that came later?
I think they came a little later, like when I was 20. Yeah, when I was 20, not as a young girl.
How many
And
do you have?
well, I had three. Now I have two, and I'll have one as of next week. And then I'm starting to look for a new one again because they get older and you can't ride them. You have to retire
No.
them.
Right, exactly. But they are very healing and they really people use them, when they go through trauma and they can
Mhm.
really provide these healing qualities, which is something very, very special and very, very beautiful. So you're in tune with that. You're aware of all of that, which I think is
Mhm.
fantastic. Congratulations on the Josie Award too in Nashville. That I know something really, really special for you. Um, what was that night like? And congratulations.
Well, it took me quite by shock.
It did, huh?
Yeah, it really did. I was sitting in the audience with my husband, and they were naming different, artists for different things, and it was a long show, so I was, sitting daydreaming a little bit as we all do during shows, and all of a sudden my name was announced, and I went, "Will they just call my name?"
Is that me? Is that my
Looked
name?
at me, and I ran up there right away, and I didn't have anything prepared for a speech. I thanked everybody, and I was, I'm really excited. It was really an exciting moment. I just won the Icon Award here in Chicago.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was a big award and beautiful red carpet, and that was kind of exciting as well. So
The
that's for
Icon Award.
philanthropy and humanitarian and all this type, yeah, services.
I don't doubt that soon, if you haven't, you'll get the key to the city of Chicago.
Yeah,
You've
better run
cer
for mayor.
you've certainly you've certainly earned it for sure. And look at this. This was a big moment, huh? Is this Times Square in New York?
Yes. Yeah, they put my work up on a billboard. That was I think it was my first song, Hush Money.
Which again, what a moment to have happen. And again, your repertoire of music is fantastic. Here's some other music we're showing on the screen here. How much music do you think you have out? If you look back, how many songs have you prepared? I mean, it's really amazing. There's the website, folks.
Oh,
Check it all out.
yeah, I probably right now have in the can about 50 songs, not thousands, you
But
know.
still 50, huh?
Mhm,
Wow.
mhm, yeah.
And so Spotify,
Remember, Jim,
iTunes,
now I'm a newbie.
right. And there's some of the music right there on screen that we have put together for you, everybody. I just think I saw a cat. Am I imagining things? Was there a cat that just
No,
appeared?
he's here. He likes
Who is
walking
that?
my piano. Come on,
Oh,
Felix.
Felix is the name?
It's Felix. Felix
Felix the
the cat.
cat. Oh
He
boy,
likes the cat.
we've had
Uh,
so many
oh,
people's cats and dogs and birds land on our
yeah,
head.
really. Oh my
G-
God. But
George Takiris from West Side Story got up and wanted to grab his Oscar, so we saw his
oh,
chair.
really?
You were had asked about the blessings and joys in your life that keep you going and creating all of this amazing music and everything you do. You know, the health and beauty and the wellness and the amazing television and film career all those years too. What are some of those blessings and joys in your life that keep you spirited and inspired to continue to connect with and entertain and make us all think? And there's Felix. Hey, Felix.
Hey,
Felix, did you want to answer that question, Felix? There's one thing that's a blessing for you is Felix, right? What else?
that's right, Felix. Um, well, the fact that I still have the energy to do everything I'm doing is I'm very thankful every day, right, Felix? So that's a really, really big thing for me. Last year, I had a health challenge for the first time. I contracted the shingles, and that's an awful thing to get.
Did you have chicken
And
pox as a kid?
yeah, chicken pox, and
Hmm.
it lasted a
Me
long
too.
time. It kind of stopped me for a little while. So that was a health challenge. So I realized, how valuable feeling good and being healthy is to do whatever you want to do. Because without
Everything.
health, you really can't do anything. So people, take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. I just want to folks know too. You've produced one woman shows in Chicago and New York, offering audiences a glimpse into your own inspiring life story. And you continue to write, record, and release new music, generating significant buzz. The song My Last Love" recently earned you a nomination for Dance Single of the Year at the Hollywood Independent Music Awards.
Yes.
And whether it's speaking about health and wellness, working on charitable boards, Friends of Conservation, Theater School of DePaul, PARS, Chicago, Women's Board of, you mentioned the Jaffrey Ballet, or pursuing your love of music and horseback riding, you exemplify truly that never give up, can do spirit and the passion of pursuit for life with vigor and enthusiasm. It's a real resilience that you have that is so extraordinarily inspiring, Irene. There's the website for Irene as well. We've been showing that. Also, Instagram and TikTok and all those places too. I know you got a lot going on. There's that autobiography. Have fun writing that. And congratulations on all the great music. And I tell you, I think you got to go in and record in the studio now, some more music for all of us. So thanks for being with us, my friend. This really was an extraordinary walk down memory lane, a little bit from television and film and music and modeling and being a real advocate for those who really, really need a lift. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And you're a beautiful spirit, Irene. And it was
Thank
an
you.
honor and a pleasure to have you here. And I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you
I
today.
sure have. I sure have. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Come see us again. We're going to keep that porch light on for you. We say that to
Okay.
all the guests. You and Felix are welcome back anytime, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Be well. Take care now.